Welcome back, you guys. I'm Tassie, and today I'm having beef rib pho. So this is actually the beef short ribs. And remember, I like to use beef short ribs in my pho. This is actually the uncut beef short ribs. So this one here is kind of already, because I boiled it for so long, it's kind of falling off the bone. This is like 3 pounds of beef, you guys. Oh, no, it's 2.5 pounds. I'm sorry. It's 2.5 pounds of beef. So I have sriracha and hoisin right here. I'm just gonna try and mix this up really quick. I probably have way too much noodles, but we'll see. Because this is a lot of beef, you guys. And honestly, I did this kind of like a shade thing. Alright, there's no beef meatballs in here because this is like 2.5 pounds of beef. Like, that's a lot of beef I have to finish. So I didn't want to cook my meatballs, which I actually have in my freezer. I'm wearing a glove because, I don't want to get my hands super dirty. Now, in Minnesota, there's a restaurant, a pho restaurant, Hmong owned. He used to have a restaurant in Wisconsin. I'm not going to say the restaurant's name. Basically, they started with having, like, beef ribs in their pho. And they made a huge deal about it because people went and their pho kept selling out. And a lot of people didn't really like the pho. I'm really hungry. Anyways, so a lot of people didn't like the pho. However, other pho restaurants in the Twin Cities here, they started to also have beef rib pho. So then this restaurant owner went on social media and was really unprofessional about it, called out all these people saying that they're copying his pho style, that since he did it, all these other restaurants are doing it. So then, like, this really huge restaurant here, Vietnamese owned, they ended up having beef rib pho with lobster tails too. So it's getting a little ridiculous. So I had to do my own at home. This is my way of throwing shade. And if you guys follow me and watch my videos, you know I love beef ribs. That is my favorite choice of meat. This is like amazing right now. Now, I totally want to say that, a lot of people make their pho broth with a lot of bones and everything. I like beef, especially beef. So for as long as I can remember, I've made my pho with beef ribs and like short ribs. But even I wouldn't say that like it's my idea and all these restaurants are stealing it. My bowl is ridiculous to hold everything. That is just so weird. And I think that there was more shade thrown at him because he did that on social media. He deleted it, of course. The owner. I don't know the owner. Now, I also know a lot of people who like the pho at that restaurant. It's like I knew people who hated it. I knew people who liked it. There were a lot of people who said for what it was good. But it wasn't like the best pho that they've had. And I'm sure that the owner and his family is great people. It came off really bad. And I have never eaten at the restaurant. I don't know how the pho tastes. And pho is such a subjective thing because really the base broth, it's going to depend on the family and the region and what the style of pho they actually make. And every family makes it different. Now, I prefer South Vietnamese type of pho. I've mentioned it in a lot of other pho videos. Some people, they like northern style. Some people prefer Thai style of pho. So it's really up to the individual. When I make pho, I don't put fish sauce in my pho. But I do prefer hoisin, and I prefer a sweeter type of pho. I was just thinking about how over the holidays, I had made bone-in prime rib. And my boyfriend's dog, I didn't want to eat the bone in front of the boyfriend's dog. So we weren't going to give it to him. He's older. And he ends up being really aggressive with the bone. So I was trying not to eat the bone around the dog, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting until everybody ate. And then they would take the dog out, and then I would go and eat my bone. But then I ended up getting too hungry, so I went to go eat my bone. And the dog just stared at me. I held onto the bone, and I let him try to gnaw it. And he was like gnawing it, but he became unhappy because I didn't give him the whole bone. But he gets terrible when he has a bone. Absolutely terrible. I'm getting to like the grizzly tendon part now. But like my boyfriend's dog Sammy, if you give him a bone and he will like gnaw and work at it. And then if it's time to take him out to go use the restroom, he will get really crazy because he thinks someone's going to take his bone while he's gone. And he tries to take his bone with him on his walk. And then nobody lets him. So he'll try and hide his bone 3 times. Like he'll go and hide it. And then he'll like, it's not safe enough. And he goes back just to grab it and re-hide it. It's really bad. And Sammy's like, he's over 13 years old. His birthday was in October. No, it's in September. His birthday is a couple days before mine or after mine. And I love gnawing on bones. My boyfriend, he's not into that. So normally we cut the meat off around the bone and then I'll give the bone. But I swear, he's been staring at me lately when I eat my bone. And how I eat on camera, it's exactly how I eat in real life. So like we'll both be sitting there looking at each other and I'll be like, ah. And he'll just be like looking at the bone because it looks really good to him suddenly. And I'm like, I'm not sharing my bone. He's just kind of people who don't like bones and they don't like to get their hands dirty. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, this thing's like ginormous, you guys. It's about to fall off this bone. Let's see if I can just get it off. Oh yeah, that was so easy. So this meat, normally I slice them up and I eat it in my pho. But we're doing beef rib today. This is so much beef. I have never in my life eaten this much beef with my pho. I highly recommend it. I bought these at Costco. For 2.5 pounds, they were $27. Now, my Sam's Club, they don't sell beef short ribs at all. If somebody else makes beef short rib pho and they eat it like this the way I am, it was my idea. That is just so bizarre. The thing is, everybody respected him and his idea, but when you become really egotistical like that, it's like everybody just makes fun of you. Oh, it's just terrible. It would have been totally fine if he just totally disregarded it. Disregarded the haters. Oh, and he got really mad if people posted that they didn't like his pho. He got really judgmental and really mad. It was just terrible all around. And he even said, this is like the worst part. He even said he knew when his haters were in his restaurant ordering his food, low-key acting like they don't know who he is. Like, I was like, oh my god, dude, like, were you that mad? Did people piss you off that much? Like, calm down. Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know, and it doesn't mean that they're always going to agree with you, and that some will, you know, but it's just like, he just took it way out of, like crazy. I like that hard part, which is the skin that was holding the bone. I like that part. I keep laughing to myself because this is so ridiculous what I'm doing. But like, I freaking love it. It just seems so ridiculous. And it did blow up, like that whole restaurant thing I'm talking about. It blew up really big because the Hmong community is pretty small. You know, like, yeah, there are quite a few of us, especially like in the Twin Cities, but it is pretty small relatively. So everybody talks and everybody knows each other. Now, I've only never been to that restaurant because, not because of the drama and everything. I would still go and check it out, honestly. But it's because I love beef pho, like beef rib pho. But, you know, like, people were trying to make it seem like I think they were judging it because they were hoping that it would be like the best bowl of pho they've ever had. And people always compare California pho. So they were like, you know, they make it better at home, or it's better in California, etc., etc. Everybody makes it differently. The draw for me is that there's beef ribs in the pho. But you know, a lot of people don't like to like touch the meat in their pho, which I can totally understand. Hence me wearing a glove. But the restaurant's not going to offer these gloves there. And I heard it's kind of pricey. I think, I may be wrong, but I think the biggest is like $25 for like 4 or 5 tiny beef ribs though. They're not like the size I made today. This was just extra. Starting to get really full. I think what did me in were the noodles, man. I made a lot of noodles. Alright, one more bite of the beef because this is like ridiculously good. Alright. I need to go and like run 3 miles now. Until next time. I'm so full. This was awesome. I probably would not do this much beef again, but this was definitely a once in a lifetime type of experience. You just gotta try it. It's so rich though. Thanks for watching, you guys. Stay humble.